description. God bless us all. Restored Republic via GCR, update as of March 28, 2026. The latest video will be shown earlier at the official website yourdailyblog.com. Duty note: in the last few weeks the devastating floods that hit the Hawaiian Islands, especially Lahaina Maui, were believed man-made, just like the so-called wildfires that burned Lahaina Maui to the ground August 2023. Native Hawaiians pointed out that during the 2 or so weeks of rain and floods there were unusual V-shaped radar patterns offshore, showing the storms may have originated from ships. The 2023 Maui fires left over 5,000 native Hawaiians homeless, with close to half still living on the beaches 2.5 years later. Little help has been received from the U.S. incorporated government. Lahaina had nowhere begun to rebuild because of countless red tape of the government. That left it vulnerable for mudslides during these past weeks of floods. Why wasn't the U.S. incorporated government helping? Because their ultimate plan was to make Lahaina, the former capital of the Kingdom of Hawaii, a smart city where the U.S. Incorporated's cabal could completely control the population. Wednesday, 30th of August, 2023, where were Maui's over 2,000 missing children? Friday, August 25, 2023, adults and children burned alive as FEMA, Maui cops blocked escape routes. Wednesday, 23rd of August, 2023, 2,400 children missing in a Winfrey, Gates, Zuckerberg, CIA child trafficking cover-up. Monday, August 21, 2023, over 1,200 Hawaiian children missing, parents believed murdered by Deep State FEMA. Saturday, 19th of August, 2023, Hawaii war zone, U.S. Marines vs. Deep State FEMA. Hawaii was obviously a center for the cabal's international child sex trafficking, secret operations, underground tunnels and black projects as pointed out in this article. Many of these underground tunnels under Hawaii are lava tubes and used for satanic rites. Freemasonic orders like the Lions Club know of these underground networks and are often at the helm of the construction of bases within them. Places with underground access to underground networks on Oahu are Queens Medical Center, Board of Water Supply, State Capitol, Hawaii State Library, Liliha Library, Honolulu Police Department, Kaiana Point, Schofield Barracks, Kaneohe Bay, Hickam Air Force Base, and many more. We know that Oprah Winfrey had houses in Hawaii in which she was trafficking women and children for a baby farm and ritualistic sex and sacrifice cult that she ran with a man named John of God. A church in Waipahu was also trafficking Filipino babies for the black market. People have reported to me that Micronesian babies are being trafficked out in Waianae. Other sources are saying that the Halekulani tunnels in Makiki are used for human organ harvesting and perhaps even the military and child protective services help traffic American girls to China. It seems the lid is boiling over in perfect time for the suspicious public to be biometrically tagged and locked down. How convenient for the federal government and shadow government countries to lock everyone in their houses while the worldwide human trafficking operation leaks to the surface. These stories hardly get any media attention because the media is owned by the same people committing the crimes. It is important to note that this kind of activity has been happening all over Hawaii for a very long time. My grandmother was kidnapped and put on the back of a truck as a child only to be rescued by her brothers and sisters who chased after the truck. Many victims are trafficked to and from Hawaii in shipping containers, private jets, military bases, naval vessels, and the tunnel system. Of course, alien abductions are a great scapegoat and cover for this kind of illegal activity. The underground train is said to travel from Honolulu through Maui and to the Big Island. It then leads to Japan, New Zealand, and California, and possibly near Alaska and Seattle. Possibly, these tunnels may be adjacent with fiber optic cables that crisscross the Pacific Ocean. When earthquakes are heard and felt across the island chain, it may be the train taking off from the Big Island and heading toward Kauai causing shock waves. On the Big Island of Hawaii in Kahala is a tunnel entrance for elites. The Poʻakaloa training area on Mauna Kea is another subterranean entrance into the tunnel system. Mauna Kea itself is a launching pad for orbital spacecraft, and deploys many anti-aircraft weapons, and surface-to-space defense weapons. At night, the area on Mauna Kea is pitch black and a fog machine can easily create a zero-visibility drive along the road. No one would ever be aware of incoming or outgoing space traffic. In other news, the privately owned by the deep state Illuminati cabal U.S. incorporated government is insolvent, over $41 trillion in debt. That's the conclusion of the Treasury Department's own 2025 financial statements, released last week to near total media silence. The numbers: $6.06 trillion in total assets against $47.78 trillion in total liabilities as of September 30, 2025. The private banker corporation has controlled U.S. taxpayer money since 1913, and drove America into bankruptcy in 2008, making the fiat U.S. dollar status official. The plan was to drive America's financial status into the ground, so the people would accept a digital currency backed by nothing, and thus the cabal would have complete control over everyone. They called it the Great Reset. Everything was going as planned for the cabal, until along came the BRICS nations accompanied by Trump and the Q plan to save the world. That plan was about to unfold with a worldwide EBS worldwide activation imminent. Sometime in the next 2 days every TV, radio and internet worldwide will simultaneously receive the same message in 77 different languages at the same time. 7 trumpets will sound announcing that the world was under temporary martial law. For 72 hours, 3 days, everyone will receive a continuous stream of declassified information. 3 times daily, 8-hour documentaries will be broadcast globally, the real history of the last 100 years and information on all corruption in government, banking, and military. A global lockdown will commence and last 10 to 12 days. Everyone will be asked to stay at home during a specific 5-hour window. During those 5 hours, comprehensive documentaries will air across all stations, providing full disclosure of recent developments, the stolen technology, the financial system that enslaved you, and the crimes committed against humanity by those who claim to protect it. The old world ends with a broadcast. The new world begins as you explain to those around you what has been going on. See possible timing on Thursday, February 26, 2026. The final sequence activated with a 48-hour countdown to a worldwide blackout and 10-day stay at home under the Global Military Alliance. EBS override imminent. Pray. Prepare. Have you secured your essentials yet, Mr. Poole on Telegram? On Thursday, March 26, 2026, White Hat insiders and 107 released critical updates accelerating the GCR, Nesara/Gesara activation and medbed rollout as the Global Military Alliance closes in on the deep state. On Friday, March 27, 2026, banks fully integrate into the gold-backed quantum financial system. Trump's sovereign treasury takes control as the Federal Reserve collapses under its own corruption. No more income taxes, only tariffs and fair sales taxes. The cabal's financial stranglehold shatters completely. Patriots are urged to stock food, water and cash as banks go dark for up to 10 days. On Saturday, March 28, 2026, 48-hour blackout commences for the Gesara wealth distribution. The fiat dollar dies as XRP and XLM currencies ignite worldwide. On Monday, March 30, 2026, 10 days of darkness begin with Starlink emergency broadcast system exposing the full extent of the cabal's fall, the end of the fiat system and the dawn of true freedom. Martial law secures mass arrests of pedophiles and Satanists globally. On Wednesday, April 1, 2026, Nesara/Gesara laws fully activate across 209 nations, wiping out all illegitimate debts from the deep state bankers. The Black Swan event triggers a new golden age as redemption centers open and humanitarian funds flood projects. On Monday, April 6, 2026, Gesara prosperity payments begin pouring into approved projects, empowering we the people to rebuild our republic. On Wednesday, April 8, 2026, medbeds activate worldwide using revolutionary plasma technology. These miracle devices heal vaccine injuries, regenerate limbs, reverse aging processes and even capture holographic recordings of every satanic ritual and child trafficking crime committed by the elites, evidence that will seal their fate in public tribunals. The deep state is in full panic mode as their crimes against humanity are about to be exposed like never before. On Monday, April 13, 2026, free medbed access becomes available everywhere, destroying Big Pharma's monopoly forever. Priority given to rescued children from DUMBs and wounded patriots who held the line against tyranny. Health is restored as our divine birthright while the pharmaceutical killers face justice. On Thursday, April 16, 2026, President Trump delivers an epic address unveiling the complete QFS rebirth and medbed victory during global celebrations of the restored republic. The world witnesses the end of darkness and the birth of a healed, sovereign humanity. On Saturday, April 18, 2026, medbed centers open in every community, bringing advanced healing technologies to all who seek them. Suppressed free energy and Tesla technologies roll out alongside, empowering independence from the old control grid. On Tuesday, April 21, 2026, Medbit holographic scans download irrefutable proof of elite crimes straight into the tribunals, triggering a final wave of mass arrests that will dismantle the remaining cabal networks once and for all. Global currency reset. On February 20, 2026, the U.S. Congress and President Trump approved the quantum financial system and the primary financial system for the nation, with global activation including release of Nesara/Gesara funds set for Wednesday, April 1, 2026. Thursday, April 2, 2026 notification to set appointments. The overwhelming majority of my bond people are telling me that they will be done between now and April 2. The overwhelming majority of my groups and banking contacts believe they will go between the 2nd of April and the 15th of April. I don't know the timing, but that is what they are being told. Marks on Tuesday, March 24, 2026. Tuesday, March 24, 2026. Wilvey says that bondholders are receiving notifications. He hopes for Tier 4B notifications today or tomorrow. Payments will start on Wednesday, April 1, 2026. We were waiting for ISO 20022 to happen and it has, and it is working very well, Wolvey says. It has been 100% successful. A lady at a bank called Wolvey, crying, saying this is the news we have been waiting for. Wolvey cannot say more due to NDAs. In a few days he will be fully under NDA and will be overseas. Forwarded from Ginger Doucet. Thursday, March 26, 2026. Bruce, the big call. The QFS has a node for cryptocurrency. The central banks around the world are buying up gold to back their currencies. 4 different sources say Tier 4B, us, the Internet Group, notification could happen on Friday 27th of March or Saturday, March 28, 2026. Tier 4B should get started with appointments before the end of the month on Tuesday, March 31, 2026. Judy note, we have been told that Wells Fargo, which is owned by the Chinese elders, the ones who own the gold behind the global currency reset, will send out emails to currency and bondholders worldwide telling them how to set redemption and exchange appointments. It is advised to exchange/redeem your foreign currency at an official redemption center, RC, rather than a bank. You can only redeem ZIM at RC, the dinar contract rate can only be given at RC, and banks will offer you lower exchange rates than what you can obtain at RC. You can only set up your new wallet, bank account, at RC. It was my understanding that most banks were under control of the cabal and would soon play a different role in the global financial system. Global financial system. Friday, March 27, 2026, bombshell announcement, Trump's dollar, signature, gold, and power for the American people. No more fiat, no more lies, game over for the globalists. Free. March 27, 2026, boom. 1913 exposed, Trump strikes final blow to the IRS, tariffs in, income tax out, Trump's signature on dollar signals return to pre-1913 prosperity and true sovereignty. Friday, March 27, 2026, QFS destroys the central banking system, QFS halts the deep state in its tracks, global currency reset, trust the plan, Tier 4B martial law on Telegram. The quantum financial system stands as the most decisive force ever introduced against the central banking debt machine, built to release everyday people from a cycle of financial control that has lasted for generations. What once seemed out of reach has been strategically prepared, a parallel monetary framework designed to replace hidden fiat dominance with transparent, asset-backed transactions. This is not speculation or wishful thinking. It is a calculated reset aimed at restoring direct control of wealth back into the hands of the people. At its foundation, QFS operates through advanced quantum-level verification that cannot be altered, securing every transaction with absolute integrity and traceability. Only currencies backed by real, audited assets and supported by digital gold certificates are allowed to circulate within the system. This structure eliminates theft, blocks covert manipulation, and makes unauthorized financial activity impossible to conceal. The principle is clear: a financial system that cannot be quietly manipulated for personal or institutional gain. The legacy system relied on shadow accounting, untraceable flows, and complex shell structures that concealed misuse while penalizing transparency for decades. QFS runs in parallel, exposing inconsistencies in real time and enabling accountability on an unprecedented scale. Once illicit transactions are identified, those responsible can no longer shield themselves behind bureaucracy or delay tactics. The system itself becomes undeniable proof, forming the foundation for action, recovery, and enforcement. The era of invisible control is rapidly closing. This marks a turning point, a structural transformation intended to restore economic balance and human dignity. Implementation requires precision, validation, and time, but the objective is undeniable. To replace artificial scarcity with asset-backed stability, dismantle centralized control mechanisms, and create a pathway toward restitution and broad prosperity. The direction is intentional, and the outcome is rooted in fairness. Stay alert, demand transparency, and prepare for the transition from a system built on debt to one grounded in value. H. The Genius Act, Guiding and Establishing National Innovation for U.S. Stablecoins Act, passed in 2025, establishes the first comprehensive federal regulatory framework for U.S. payment stablecoins. Effective by January 18, 2027, it mandates one-to-one reserves, strict AML/KYC compliance and limits issuance to authorized entities to enhance financial stability. Constitutional Republic of the United States, Constitutional Republic of Canada. 2s. March 10, 2026 bombshell announcement. President Trump declares restoration of the American Republic, U.S. Incorporated dissolved, common law sovereignty returns, Mr. Poole on Telegram. Patriots, the storm has hit and it's magnificent. President Donald J. Trump has invoked Article 2 to declare the United States fully sovereign under common law once more. The fake foreign-controlled U.S. Incorporated is finished, dissolved, dead, gone forever. No more Admiralty law oppression, no more globalist chains dragging us into debt and war. The deep state grip is broken, the true constitutional republic rises triumphant. This is no mere rhetoric, it's a binding declaration of authority and summons from Trump as Commander-in-Chief. He's seizing full control, sidelining the corrupt swamp and directing the military via the Uniform Code of Military Justice. Every flag officer is oath-bound to obey lawful orders from the legitimate president. No more excuses, no divided allegiances. The military now serves we the people through Trump, not the treasonous corporate facade. Under common law sovereignty, grounded in God-given rights and original founding truths, Trump exercises his prerogative to summon leaders, affirm real authority, and rebuild national defense. This resets America to the founders' vision: no commercial enslavement, no hidden British shadows, just pure liberty. All flag officers are ordered to convene in Virginia, the Republic's sacred cradle, for immediate realignment. This is full military mobilization to restore loyalty and eliminate globalist remnants. The timeline is set, orders issued, clock running. Unity under true command is happening now. Foreign-tied overseas bases and Commonwealth-linked tops. They're being shut down or reclaimed for America. No more secret outposts serving alien masters, no covert pacts bleeding us dry. Trump is smashing the centuries-old crown chokehold on trade and power, and the military reset locks it down. This fulfills Trump's sacred oath to defend the Constitution, protect the people, and preserve the Republic. Every officer and servant must choose, stand with the restored Republic or stand exposed as oath breakers. The line is drawn, no more shadows, no two Americas. One Republic. One Commander-in-Chief. One law, common law. Quanons, white hats, digital warriors, this is our victory moment. The debt-based, deception-driven U.S. Incorporated fraud is overthrown. Military mobilizes under Trump's unbreakable command. Deep state cabal legally crushed, illusions collapsing. Freedom surges back, the Republic is back, sovereign, unbreakable. We witness history, true American Republic restored. Patriots win. God bless President Trump, our military, and the sovereign United States of America. K-Wars, Wars and Rumors of Wars. Thursday, March 27, 2026. Fox News. Boom. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth just called out the media. These cameras have a choice. You either inform the American people of the truth or you are not. Here's a fact you don't hear on the networks that we know. Many of the Iranian military factories and bases that we are destroying were paid for by the pallets of American cash that Barack Obama flew into the Tehran under the Iran deal. You might call it an inconvenient truth. Iran took our money and turned it into weapons, bunker, ammo. Now we're destroying the weapons and you are righting that grievous wrong. Make no mistake, we had to act. Objectives clear. No nukes, no Navy, complete dismantling of the missile program and defense industrial base. We're here to win and we are full speed ahead. Thursday, March 27, 2026 Fox News, as per Iranian government request, please let this statement serve to represent that I am pausing the period of energy plant destruction by 10 days to Monday, April 6, 2026, at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Talks are ongoing and, despite erroneous statements to the contrary by the fake news media, and others, they are going very well. President Donald J. Trump. I'll save the children. Friday, March 27, 2026 A Clinton Foundation-linked pedophile who raped multiple children in an orphanage in Haiti has been sentenced to 210 years in jail. Michael Carl Galenfeld founded St. Joseph's Home for Boys in Haiti. All roads in child rape lead to the Wicked Witch of Washington. Friday, March 27, 2026 Democrats are trying to legalize pedophilia and sexual acts with children, and their voting record proves it. Just today, every Democrat voted against Ohio bill that criminalized sexually explicit performances in front of children. It passed, but do you see the real agenda yet? Friday, March 27, 2026 U.S. Special Forces raided multiple hidden underground facilities tied to Hillary Clinton in a coordinated White Hat operation overnight. What they found is beyond anything we could have imagined. Live adrenochrome harvesting labs with dozens of rescued victims. Video archives of satanic rituals featuring top elites and world leaders. Documents detailing clone politicians replacing real leaders for decades. And the big one, suppressed free energy tech and mind control devices designed to keep humanity enslaved forever. Dear 4B ISO 20022 on Telegram. What we think we know. As of Saturday, March 28, 2026, Friday, March 27, 2026 The COVID pandemic was planned by Bill Gates, Jeffrey Epstein, Dr. Fauci and the Rothschild family. We have their emails. These are war crimes. They must be arrested. The Schiff on Telegram. Friday, March 27, 2026 Victory for parents. Supreme Court strikes down indoctrination. Parents have the right to opt out of LGBTQ+ propaganda in schools. Friday, March 27, 2026 Breaking news, first in the world ivermectin, mebendazole, and fenbendazole protocol for cancer has been peer-reviewed and published. Big Pharma trembles. Friday, March 27, 2026 Exposed, no more British control, Trump didn't blink, the new alliance Britain can't stop, City of London cornered. Friday, March 27, 2026 Breaking alert, gas prices under attack. Trump signs emergency order to release cheaper E15 fuel immediately. And election fraud. Friday, March 27, 2026, the election fraud that's occurring in the United States is not only a massive national security threat, but it's also connected and happening in 100+ countries around the world, including places like South Korea, Canada, Australia, Brazil, Ecuador, the Philippines, Republic of Congo, and many more. This needs to be investigated by military intelligence because of this global election fraud cartel's resources, capabilities, and players involved, which leads to a massive criminal conspiracy that can topple and take control of countries around the world and install whatever regimes that they choose. Mr. Poole on Telegram. Friday, March 27, 2026 Fox News, Biden White House gave order not to enforce fraud allegations happening all over the country. Shocker. The reason they didn't investigate any fraud is because they were all involved, stealing taxpayer dollars through front companies and NGOs. This is money laundering 101. Oh, government fraud. Friday, March 27, 2026 Minnesota Representative Kristen Knudsen says they just found out the state turned off tracking for money being sent overseas. They turned it on for 2 weeks. Saw all the money leaving, and Democrats quickly shut off tracking to allow it to keep happening. Today in the Fraud Committee, the Department of Human Services testified that they haven't been tracking the IP addresses of money that's being literally flown out of our state and where it's going. They did turn on that reporting for 2 weeks, and they found that yes, a lot of those IP addresses were tied to overseas computers, and then they quickly shut it off after just 2 weeks of seeing where this money is actually going. Every time we turn around, it's just more and more fraud scandals in our state. What we thought we knew, but didn't really know and now am supposed to know but don't have a clue. With clones, doubles, made-up movies Hollywood style and Trump's military alliance throwing more popcorn at us, it gets so confusing. Official word was that early morning twos. March 24, 2026. The White Hats took Joe Biden into military custody. We thought the White Hats took him into custody back in December 2020 after raiding his Ukraine property and finding signs of a massive child sex trafficking ring and tunnels that connected to other child trafficking tunnels across the world. They supposedly held a military tribunal and hung him at Gitmo, then buried him during his so-called inauguration. Clones and actors were said to have played him ever since, directed by Obama. Friday, March 28, 2026, King Charles III will die. We thought he was already dead. At least that was reported over a year ago. Monday, March 30, 2026, Hillary Clinton will be arrested. We thought she already was, underwent a military tribunal and hanged years ago, with doubles and clones representing her in public ever since. Her double from the UK already confessed to that, so don't think they are arresting the double because they already did. Maybe they are arresting the last of Clinton clones. They were malfunctioning anyway. Also on Monday, March 30, 2026, Barack Obama would be hanged, along with Hillary. On Wednesday, 25th of March, it was reported by the martial law platform on Telegram that Obama was arrested. The Antichrist vessel is in chains. Raid teams recovered original 1963 documents in his hands. EBS footage live, he confessed on camera. Arrest complete. Trial tomorrow. Public hanging at Gitmo March 30th, same day as Hillary. Previous reports from Gitmo stated that Obama had been arrested and taken care of years ago, while his clones were still out there. So what's the truth? So much game playing going on, it's hard to tell. The latest video will be shown earlier at the official website erdailyblog.com. Sincere thanks to all our audience. To continue watching videos without ads, you can subscribe via the Gumroad link below the description. If you want to watch the latest free videos, you can visit erdailyblog.com. If you continue to love and support us, you can donate to us via GiveSendGo or PayPal or Gumroad link below the description. God bless us all.